Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. This is your boy, Mr. Luke Evan Brooks. Please give me some time before we actually go into this workshop. This is absolutely free workshop, but I want to make sure that I get everyone on all the platforms to be able to watch. This is absolutely free. If you have friends that are interested in doing Turo, this is something definitely that they want to check out and see. Okay, so let's make sure that we get people situated in here. I'm a little late because I just came back from getting a haircut. As you see, they cut a little bit too much here, but it is what it is. I got to just look presentable at always, all times, and you should too as well. So let me go ahead and get this done. I'm gonna be back here shortly. I want to talk to you about a few things about this workshop, and then we're gonna go through. It's not gonna be too long. It's not gonna be a 3-hour session. It's gonna get you right to the point and understanding why it's important to do this if you decide to do it. So, one moment. Got a few more people coming in here. Give me one more second or a couple more minutes here. Got a few more people coming in here. Give me one more second or a couple more minutes here. Echo. So let me go ahead and get this going as far as getting the people in here that needs to be in here as well too. I see people coming into the live now. So we'll give it a few more minutes. I'm sharing it also out to everyone as well too. And don't hesitate to do the same as well, guys. Like this is not, a one-man team or whatnot. Everyone can participate as well too. So don't hesitate. Okay, got one more to go to. Posted it now. Now posting a video here. Okay, I got my guy in here. We're about to go ahead and start this thing very, very shortly here. I need to post this in here. We're about to go ahead and start this thing very, very shortly here. I got my guy in here. We're about to go ahead. Okay. Workplace. Okay. Then we sent out, I think, most of the invitations here. And it's weird because you got to go through every single one of these, but it is what it is. We're about to get into it here. Um, People contacting me now. We got a few more people. Let's see. Yes, it has started. Okay, so I'm about to go ahead and get this thing kicked off because a lot of people want to know, hey, what's going on? Like, when's it starting? It's starting now. So I think for my team, my staff, if you're seeing this, go ahead and share this out as far as you can. Just get the message out here. Just go ahead and get the message out here because we're already close to 10 minutes past this. So let me start off. My name is Mr. Luke Evan Brooks. I am a Turo host on Turo itself. Been going on it for roughly over a year, but I've had a number of years with the car industry with the peer-to-peer sharing. I have discovered how to operate with the Turo platform where you are able to do nearly 90% bookings with your vehicles and without compromising the price. A lot of people say, yeah, that's possible if you set the car at very low price. And I'm telling you, that's not what you need to do because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you rent it out to the right customers. You want to make sure that you're getting a return on your investment and that you have cars being booked back to back. And that's what we're going to go into today. So this is going to be straightforward. This is not going to be a PowerPoint. I'm not going to bore you with PowerPoint. Just give you my background. Am in the U.S. military. I'm doing this while I'm living in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And you might say, well, they got Turo out there. No, they don't have Turo out here. What I have done is use the system, use leverage basically to be able to run my business remotely. So that's something that's unique. A lot of people think you have to literally be at the cars. You do not. I talk about that in later on, right? I will tell you later on briefly of what I'm doing. So I want to talk to you though, that if you are actually looking to do Turo, there's some things that you want to take in consideration. If you're looking just to dabble in it, I do not recommend you to just dabble in it, meaning that, I'm just going to rent it a couple of times. I'm not going to really do anything. This is for people who really want to make a change in their life financially, right? And if that's something you want to do, I'm sorry, you can go ahead and leave, right? Before I go any further, if you do leave comments, please post them. You know, my team will get to me if you post them in a group, because what I'm using right now, I'm not able to gauge on it. I can use certain things, but it's not going to let me see everything. So the thing that you want to do is make sure that if you're going to do this, is that you map everything out going backwards to the beginning. Either way, what do you mean, Luke? Look at it like this. The end goal of you wanting to do Turo is that how many cars you want to have, right? Let's say you decide I want to start off with 2 cars this year. And that's modest, right? And you do your 2 cars. And let's say you only have 1 car right now. So let's just imagine that you have your 2 cars in the year 2024. From that point, you need to look at what you're trying to achieve with those cars, what type of cars you're getting, because you're going to have to do some research. So depending on what type of cars you have, you can look at the market on Turo. You can go in here and look exactly what's going on. And I'm going to share you my screen here too. So let's go ahead and start sharing the screen. So if you're going on Turo, for example, I'm already here as a host. If I want to look at what people were doing, right? And I wanted to see, hey, what are people looking at, what they're liking? Let's say we go to Charlotte, North Carolina, right? Charlotte Douglas Airport. And I want to rent the vehicle. Let's just say I want to rent it the 19th to the 31st. And I got my time set up or whatever. We hit search. And we'll talk about this later. This is Turex, but we're going to talk about that later. You can see what is going on in your market. That's the first thing you want to take in consideration. You want to see who is doing what. And what I mean by that, you're looking at the trips, you're looking at the ratings, like how they're doing, and you're comparing the year and the model on these vehicles. Now, for me, I don't have absolutely brand new. You can see right here, this vehicle is a Nissan Sentra, and it's going for $38 today. It's only started off, right? Say they will do Charlotte Douglas Airport. And you can scroll through here. If you really wanted to get down to the narrow, say, hey, I don't want an SUV, I don't want a truck, you could do that as well too. I'm giving you the rough guidance, right? If you already have a vehicle on hand, this is where you are able to gauge it, right? You can gauge where you want to do your vehicle as far as pricing goes. Based off that, you have a way to move forward or move backwards. And what I mean by backwards is that, hey, if I don't want to do 2 cars this year, you don't have to. But this is what I recommend. If you're going to do this, get a cash car, a car that's already paid off. If you go into financing the vehicle, it can backfire on you. It was a story about a guy who was actually going around in Atlanta and financing 30 some cars. Now, he didn't have the money on hand. He ran his credit at multiple dealerships on one day. And when I mean, I'm not talking about 1 or 2, I'm talking about every single dealership that had a car that he was looking for. And of course, it took a big hit on his personal credit too. But the problem with that is that you have a payment. He didn't have the money. So I didn't have the money. I just rent the cars. And it's a lot of risk. If something happens to these cars, your insurance, if you're using regular insurance, it's not going to be covered for peer-to-peer sharing. I'll tell you that right now. You have to use specialized insurance for these vehicles to be on them. Now, Turo does have a protection plan, and I talk about that later on. But with the protection plan, it only protects the car when it's being rented out. So what if you're driving this car, you know, when it's not being rented out to a place of not work, not getting the oil change, not getting the tires rotated, things like that, the insurance come into play if you have an accident. You, in some states, you gotta have insurance as a minimum of liability. But when you go on this platform, you want to look at it. So let's look at what this vehicle has here, the Nissan Sentra. I mean, Altima, sorry. If we click on this, right, and we're looking into it, let's look at the picture. Just analyze what we're looking at. This picture is, you could tell this is somewhere back in the Carolinas, right? It doesn't have a bunch of cars in the background. It doesn't have all this craziness that we're looking at, right? Like some people put their cars up in a busy area and it doesn't get rented out. So you want to make sure your picture stands out when you're doing Turo. Now you need to take some good pictures. Now you can't take a whole bunch of pictures on, but you got to get good pictures, particularly outside of the body of the car. You know, making sure you got the inside of the car clean too. You don't want to have a car that's dirty. That really tells people that you really don't take care of this car. That's a sign right there. And looking at the inside, that car looks like it's brand new. Just got it off at the dealership, right? Showing the wheels and everything, showing the tires, things of that sort, right? And the person, if you was the host, you can see how many trips this person had. Now, this person's been on since October of 21, and she's an all-star host, right? It gives you the description, and this tells you what an all-star host is, because you might have questions about that. All-star hosts are the most experienced and responsive hosts on Turo. These outstanding hosts are completed at least 10 trips in the last year and consistently go the extra mile, earning excellent reviews from guests. If you are part of my program, this is where we aim for. We don't aim for mediocrity, right? We want you to succeed. You should not have to settle for less. And there are perks with being an all-star host. When you call Turo, you are ahead of the line. You are the person that people are looking to talk to, and they really, really are gonna give you the, I would say, the red carpet. Now, there's another thing called power host. If you bring in about $36,000 or more within 365 days, you will be that. I'm almost there. Probably by the next month or so, I will be considered a power host. And this is where you sit down, talk to the CEO, talk to the head people. They want to know like what works, what doesn't work. You go to special events. You actually be part of something like it's really big, bigger than yourself, bigger than what you think. And I know a lot of people like, oh, that's a bunch of fluff, but for real, you want to be networking with the right people. This is when it comes to where amateur hour versus the professionals. Okay, so going into this, she gives a decent description. Now I'm not gonna go all crazy in it. She gives a decent description of what the vehicle is, offers, and this and that. It's to the point, but as a host, you want to paint it as if you was actually talking to someone who was going to rent your car. All the ins, all the do's, all the do nots. Because if someone's renting your car out, this is your personal, I won't say personal belonging if you're doing it for a business, but it's your bread and butter. And you don't want to have people just renting your car out. And it's a way of how you describe your vehicle onto this platform, onto this section. So you see here, it shows all the extra stuff like unlimited mileage. My recommendation, do not do unlimited mileage. I don't care how much you're looking to do. Do not do unlimited miles, because if you having these cars, right, maintenance is a big thing. Now, I have customers who rent my cars out. Roughly, I give them about 300, maybe 400 miles a day. And that's basically enough to do what they need to do. But you sell yourself short doing this right here. I do not recommend you doing this. You go, well, it's a day, but you got to think about your maintenance too. As these cars roll out, you have to keep track of your maintenance. That's another major thing that you want to take in consideration. You can look at her ratings as well too. And sometimes people will put some crazy ratings on here. Like if you look at this one, and they dropped it off outside the airport. The down was a intense smell of marijuana in the car at pickup. What you have to do as a host, if you want to really be an all-star host, you got to treat your cars like a whole assembly line. What I do typically is when a person bring the car back, even if they say I cleaned your car for you, I don't care. I take the car to a car wash, or I have my staff take it to a car wash per se, right? They take it to a car wash where it gets detailed. For example, I use Autobell. Autobell helps me out because unlimited washes. We can take the car 15 times out of the month. It doesn't matter. It'll be one flat rate. Some people so you can wash it yourself, but at the end of the day, when you're talking about numbers, I like to work smarter, not harder. I don't want to sit here have my team washing cars in a cold or extreme heat right there when we don't have to, when we have a system where we have professionals washing these cars. We have people detailing the car inside and out within 5 to 10 minutes, and we can get the car set up. It's about moving rapidly too. If you was to do, let's say you had 10 cars on a lot, if you think about getting 10 cars, it could be an issue. It could be an issue with you trying to get things set up the way that you need to get set up, and then you run yourself in a hole. And then that may require more manpower. Rather than doing that, you can have your car staged at a certain area to get care of, get the car wash, get all the things that you need to get taken care of. Let me show you an example of what I do. Not knocking this lady here, but I'm going to show you the difference. I want to show you the night and day with what my vehicles do as far as the description. So here you go. That's me right there. But look at how the description is. This is how you want to be. You want to be telling people how long you've been on the platform. You want to talk about some of the features about you, right? Letting people know, hey, this ain't my first rodeo. Like I told you, this is not my first time being on a peer-to-peer. And we talk about what we're doing for upcoming for the year 2024. As you see right here, we're talking about putting more cars on the platform, getting people excited. So if you have good service with your fleet, people are going to come to you, say, man, this guy's expanding. He's going to have some new stuff coming out there. And you talk about the 5-star reviews, right? Mention the city or where you at. Like, for example, I say being recognized as one of the top hosts in Charlotte is a result of my commitment, efficiency, and retaining happy customers. My success is rooted in an earnest desire to continuously improve and ensuring that each guest not only returns but also recommends my service to others. Visit my website. So that's another thing too. If you can get you a website or a Facebook page at least is dedicated to your cars, to your fleet, this is another way of grabbing people, not just using this platform, but outside of the platform. That's the main key right there of making a 90% booking. You're not just relying on Turo, especially when you're starting off. If you're not an all-star host, of course, you're starting off the bottom. You have to be able to climb up there, and the best way to climb is to do what I just did a few minutes ago: expand everything out. Expand everything out. That way, people know where to go. They know who to talk to at the end of the day. So let's go to my thing here. I didn't think it showed up because I'm bouncing it back and forth. We might have to switch over to uh, the tab here. Let me show you the tab. Actually, we did have it. Sorry about that, guys. I'm getting deep into this presentation here. And this is like my second one, so bear in mind. So let me show you. Let's see if it popped up because I'm looking at my screen here. Okay. So it's popped up, as you see, shows my vehicles, right? It shows the trips, it shows everything. So we plan on expanding, right? A lot of people's like, this for 4 cars you're doing. Yes, it's not about having a whole fleet of cars necessarily, right? It's about how you price them, how you present those vehicles. What are you going to make yourself stand out on with your guests, right? So when people looking at this description, right, they're looking at all this stuff right here. They're looking at the years. They're looking at what I'm giving them. It's not just a paragraph. It's more of like, hey, I want you to know everything about me. This is one thing I learned in sales a long time ago. When you are presenting something to a customer, you're not just saying, hey, buy this phone, right? You want to make sure that people feel comfortable with you. And you're not going to be able to do that with the digital platform just saying, hey, every time, because you're not physically there. But your words and how you craft your words when people are looking at the description about should I go with this person, should I go with that person, this makes people stand out. Another thing that I would tell you too is that having these emojis on here, this helps out too because people gravitate to emojis. They say, oh, let me see what this emoji is. You can have words all day, but people can feel like, okay, this feels like I'm reading a novel. But when they see emojis that represent what you're talking about, like I'm talking about being a top all-star host, it's showing a trophy here. We're talking about stars, right? 5-star review. We're talking about growing. We mean we're reaching new heights right here with the rocket. And people see that. People look at it. People who do take your car in consideration look at it. From this point, going into my second year with the platform, right? Being over a year, going into the second year, I've had repeated customers back to back where people are renting my cars out months at a time. And that's nothing unusual. That's a blessing to me because the benefits of that is that when you have the car to a customer, you have to make sure that the car is safe, right? You're going to go through your whole walk through your vehicle, making sure that the car is clean, no issues, no check engine lights, none of that messed up stuff, no bad brakes, any of that. And you can go to your shops, you can go to your local not Autobell, I'm sorry, Firestone, Precision Tune Up, wherever your local mechanic shop where they do a courtesy check on your vehicle, you get like an oil change, for example. They'll check over your vehicle and let you know what you need. And that's one of those hacks right there that you can use to actually help you with your vehicles, right? To make sure you stay on top of your maintenance, understanding what may be coming up that may be a concern or may not be a concern. That helps you in the long run. Okay. I think a lot of people get hampered down that I see in these groups that they have issues with using Turo because they go too high. They go get something very expensive, and then people are not renting that vehicle. For example, I saw that one guy got along with some of his friends to purchase a Lamborghini. I purchased a Lamborghini in Iowa. I can't make this up now. People say some people who drive Lamborghinis, but how often? How often is that an everyday car for some people? That's not an everyday car for the common person. So that's another thing I want to talk about. If you are getting on this market, you have to understand who are you going to cater to. Are you going to cater to all types of life? Are you going to cater to the folks that's the working class every day? I got to get to work. Or people who say I need a car for the weekend to travel. For me, I try to go for the people for every day. Everyday people, we need a car. Yeah, if my car's down, my car's in the shop, I need a car to get to. Or hey, I'm traveling, I'm coming into Charlotte to see some family or go to a graduation or any of that stuff right there. I try to stay away from the luxury brands, right? And nothing wrong with luxury brands. You can get more money, but you also have to understand there is more maintenance and higher maintenance for those vehicles. Now, looking into one of the hacks that I wanted to talk to you about, let's see if we can go into looking at this. Let's move this tab over. Uh, let's go back to this one thing I want to show you. Let's go over here and Mm-mm-mm. Here we go. So let's just type in something, for example. Let's go to another city. Let's go to a city in North Carolina called Durham. Durham, North Carolina. All right. Let's keep this time on here. Let's see what's going on. That's another hack that I want to show you guys. That's another hack that is going to really blow your mind once this loads up. I want to make sure that y'all tracking. So Durham has an airport too. The strategy, if you are in a populated area that has a regional airport or international airport, you are in luck, right? Not saying that other people don't have anything going on, but you can charge higher amounts. You can basically charge for delivery fees. This works in your favor when you get higher ups, right? Now, in Charlotte, for example, it used to be where we can park the cars for free for Turo, but now you have a valet system that you have to pay for. You can incorporate that in your pricing with your vehicles, or you can let customers know, hey, this is going to be incorporated, because at the end of the day, that delivery fee can be higher or lower. Right now, I set mine down a little bit, but when summertime comes, people travel more, and you have to understand those trends. And how I look at it easily is this: how often is the car being rented from the airport? And if it's a certain number for you, it's like, hey, if I'm seeing three of my cars all getting hit up at the airport, being delivered at the airport, then I need to increase the price. Not saying that you don't want them to do it, depends on you. If you feel like it's an inconvenience for you, then you may not want to do the airport drop off. And you could still make money. Some customers might say, I'll just drive to the location, which is 20 minutes away from the airport in Charlotte. But for Durham, we're going to go over this example. You see this right here. You may not have this, right? This is called Turex. This is a Chrome extension that will give you the competition information, right? So I can hit this bad boy, right? And you can see it doesn't have any data right now in it, right? But watch what I do when I I search this again. Let's see what populates. If I need to zoom in here, this is bad boy right here, Turex. Turex Explorer. You can get this for like $14.99. That ain't nothing, right? It has it for free, but free is only giving you a limited amount of data. And we're gonna show you this here with T-Rex. Start recording. That's the first thing you have to do. So we'll leave out of there. We'll search this area again. You see right there, 200 unique vehicles added to T-Rex. Luke, what does this mean? I'm gonna show you. This data that you're seeing here takes what is shown on Turo, right? It's showing what's on Turo, all the cars. You can break this down further. If you're looking for only a particular car or a particular type of car, this can work for you. So I can hit this button called enrich data, enrich vehicle data. That means that it's going to populate more information in here. It takes a second to fill this up, and it's probably going to take the duration of this webinar to fill up. And I'm not going to hold you that long, right? Looking at this, but let's just break this down. This is another tool that should go in your toolbox when it comes to you deciding on what car is going to be next for your platform. I use this, I look at this at least monthly, if anything else. If you're not looking at this once a month, then you're doing something wrong. Because this is going to tell you where you stand at. When I look at my vehicles, I can clearly look at where I stand at compared to other vehicles that are Nissan Sentra, Ford Fusion, and so forth. So let's just look at this Toyota Corolla. We see what's going on with this vehicle. This is basically saying when it was created, how many days it's been on the platform, how many trips it's taken, the turnover days as far as like out of each day, how often is it being rented out? What's the average price that you rent it out for? What's the average distance that you're going for? Span this out here for you. What's the weekly discount, the monthly discount, a busy day, the income that's coming in, right? What type of insurance plan this person has, right? And the insurance plan, I will give you more information on that. We talk about it in the course and also have a book that you can look at absolutely free. The book doesn't cost you anything. With my course, though, I give you more, more guidance on it, like what you should do with it. But I inform you in the book exactly what these breakdowns mean, how it can play effect with your money because Turo pays out so much or whatnot. So going back in here, you can see if they're all-star hosts right here and a host ID. How many times has it been favorite, right? How many reviews it has? What's the rating? What's the profile? What's the profile talking about? What's the ID? You can get all that information just looking at this. And I like it, right? And I know y'all probably say, well, let's look at your stuff, Luke. Let's look at yours. Let's see what you're talking about. Okay. Let's look at mine. Let's go back to Charlotte. Let's go back to Charlotte Douglas Airport. My car may be on here, may not be on here, but we're going to sort it out. We're going to get right to the gritty of it, right? So let's go through the filter. Let's sort by filters here. We go for a car. You see how you can break this down? So if you already got a car, and then this is what I'm breaking it down to you with. If you already got a car on the platform, or you think about getting a car on a platform, you can compare it before you get it out there by looking at the data here. So we're gonna look at the Nissan Sentra. Let's get these years together. Let's go for 2018 to 2025. Don't have to fill all this information out. You can. This is like if you was going to pick a vehicle and say, I need a vehicle right now. What do you have for me? That's my car right here. You see that right there? And that's a 2024. It's only been on 10 trips. Nothing's wrong with that. This is 2023. Oh, you renting your car out for $33. There's a rhyme and reason for that. So let's go ahead and turn on Turex. We're gonna pull the data. We're gonna start recording. Let's clear the results. Let's do research. So here we go. You saw that, right? It pulled 12 cars. Let's look at the data. Let's see what the data says about my vehicle. Enrich data. Now mine is 2019 right here. Now I want you to look at the data because a lot of people, like when I did the first workshop, a lot of people was like, "Oh, how can you know all this stuff? You just started," and they failed to understand that with a history of marketing, dealing with sales, understanding promotions, understanding how to do things with advertising your vehicle, it can make you excel. So let's go into it. Let's look at this car right here. This is my car, right? The 2019. This is 2019. I want y'all to understand. This is a 2019. Let's sort the year. We're right up at the top, right? 2019, silver. Look at how many days that this vehicle has been on this platform. Look at how many trips it's been on. What's the average price a day? The distance. Now you can compare the other ones. We're looking at both of them, right? average income is coming in, right? You can look at some guys, oh, he's beating you out, but look at how long this guy's been on here. Look at how long I've been on here, right? We're still looking at the silver one at the top. Look at how many favorites. Look at that. I want you to look at that. Look at how many favorites I have compared to the competition. Look at how many reviews I have over the competition and tell me if I'm lying. This stuff works. This is how you know. Like when you look at this, you should be looking at who's your competitor. You should look at if you still hold it. Because at the end of the day, you might say, well, I want the money. Your reviews is going to also help you too, because people are going to look at your vehicle down the line. You may not know that, right? You may not know, but this would tell you right here. You could be considered 283 times as a favorite vehicle to be rented for. And a lot of people want to see, okay, can I rent that vehicle? Economic friendly. And this car gets rented out. Literally last night, we had a customer that told me that she was not able to rent my vehicle and she had to cancel because she got hurt. So the car was already staged. We already stage our cars. As a host, you shouldn't wait until your car gets booked. You should already have your car ready to go as if someone's going to book instantly. And that's exactly what happened. The car got booked in the middle of the night when I was asleep. It'd be rented. Even if it's just rented for one day, it was still rented. So it did fulfill the need of the person on the weekend. Typically, you will see, if you're doing this right, you will see that people will book your car on weekends because they don't want to drive their vehicle over the weekend. They may want to travel out of town, and so be it. Right now, I have a customer now who's with me on my vehicle, or not with me per se, but driving my vehicle. Took the vehicle early this morning. I got a ring, right? They done took the vehicle. Vehicle's in the driveway and they just took it, right? So the vehicle's gone. And we got the next vehicle. That's another customer right now about to rent the vehicle right now and take it off. So it was a Nissan Sentra in there, and that's a Ford Fusion. And that's a guest right now that's renting out the vehicle. Watch this. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing pretty well. Everything okay? Yeah, I'm about to take pictures and upload it to the app. All right, easy day. Let me know if you need anything. We're here for you. I appreciate it. Thank you. No problem. If I'm lying, I'm flying, guys. I'm telling you. All the stuff that's lined up that I talk about in this course expands upon all this, right? All of this. When you're looking at to have 90% bookings, when you're looking to really make things happen in your life, then you gotta have that. You gotta have a sense of direction. You gotta have that purpose and move with it, guys. So I know we didn't talk too much about this, but I want to boil down in our last 10 minutes here because I don't want to have y'all stay over late. But using Turex helped me do what I just did here. Constant bookings, right? Cars stay out. And you might have said, what about them other two cars? So other two cars are my staff. Theirs are not for rent, right? But I have 4 cars on the platform right now. About to get 5 here between March and April. About to get the 5th vehicle on the platform, and we're really going to kick things off. And we're looking to really make changes. Now, I could do it now if I wanted to, but it's a rhyme to this, right? You want to look at when's the best time to buy a vehicle too. This not say, well, we're not knowing what we're doing, but we want to make sure we're doing things right. And a lot of folks would rush and say, oh no, I'm just gonna do whatever I want to. Don't listen to those folks. There's a lot of videos that you can look at on YouTube as well, but it can be overwhelming. What we have created, or what I've created to be exact, is that a course is a step by step that gives you guidance on how to operate on Turo as a power host, all-star host, you name it. We run you through A through Z I hold your hand all the way at the end, and you have access to me. If you need to contact me, you have access to me where we make sure you're set up. We have chat groups in our groups to make sure that you talk to other hosts out there as well. They're looking to get other opinions of like, hey, how did you operate this? Do I do that? Yes, I do that as well too. I may see something that I may not quite understand, and I talk to other hosts too. But instead of you just scrolling around looking on the internet, trying to decide whether if this is the right way or the wrong way, I'll walk you through all the steps. That way you're not misled. For the folks that are interested now, because I'm not going to post anything other than this video. If you're serious about looking at the free content of the book that I have for you, which is just a basic starting guide, right? It's got a lot of knowledge in it. It's a good read. You can read it in probably in about an hour, maybe two, but it breaks down a lot of the stuff that I'm showing you here and gives you open guidance of like how Turo is. So if you're starting out, say, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing, this book is right up your alley. Definitely hit me up, DM me, contact me, post in the comments wherever you're seeing this at, and we will get you to the book. Okay. Book doesn't cost you anything. You just have to reach out to me, right? I'm not going to post it in here because people will be like, I don't see it, I don't see it. Reach out to me. That way you can actually get a direct message from me or my staff to get you going. I want people to really, really win because the reason why I did this, Turo, why I did this whole platform was that I was dealing with another car company, right? Remember at the beginning, I said you don't want to finance vehicles. I ended up financing two vehicles, but from the other platform I was on. It wasn't even Turo. When I got on Turo, I stopped financing vehicles. I stopped doing it because at the end of the day, I'm trying to get the most out of my investment, right? I'm trying to get the most on the return of my investment. Company called me. The company said, hey, glad you called us. We're shutting down in Charlotte. Now, I was getting on the plane to go to Charlotte, so I was kind of upset because I noticed that my car was not being rented out with this company. And I'm just like, man, what's going on with my car? And these are fairly new cars. And they were like, well, we're just having a shutdown. We're shutting down. And it was a whole thing. I'm not gonna give away their name or whatnot. You have to listen to my other videos on YouTube on Passive Income Central with Luke Brooks. But anyway, going back to the story, the customers were upset because I knew one guy who purchased four brand new cars. He's paid over $100,000 for these vehicles to be on a platform that they were going to turn around and tell him in 2 weeks we're shutting down. Now imagine that financing vehicle. That's why I say you do not want to finance vehicles because you want to be able to pull out if you want to pull out of Turo or whatever platform. You don't want to be like, well, I'm stuck with these car notes because again, I talk about that. I don't want people to feel like, oh, it's all gravy and Turo land and this and that. I want you to know the pros and cons to any type of platform that you get on. And I recommend you not to finance the vehicles if you don't have to. If you got to do one, just do one. But if you're saying this, I'm gonna finance all my vehicles, that's bad juju right there. So going back on it, I had an option. Did I want to go ahead and just quit? Knowing my background, knowing my history, or did I want to go ahead, forge ahead, and not give up? And I told myself, we're not giving up. So we got on the platform. I talked to some of my family members and said, this is what we're going to do. I lined out everything that I needed to do to run this thing remote. That was my fear with Turo. You got to have someone in the loop to get these cars moved, where the other platform just gave them the keys and they rent your car out and give you some money on it, right? It wasn't much. Once I saw what I made with Turo, it blew it over by three times. Three times, right? So that says a lot with the platform. And to me, I mean, I never look back after that. I want to always make sure my customers are taken care of because again, those are your bread and butter, right? And it's important to me to make sure that everyone follows along. I've seen people that I talk to where I work with now to complain about lack of money, lack of this, lack of that. And then I show them this and they got the vehicles, they got everything that they need, but they don't act on it. And I feel like at the end of the day, you can't save everyone. I think the people who are actually watching this video who are interested in doing Turo and want to know more about it, you can definitely make a change for your life. For me, it's helped me, it's helped my family, it's helped my community, and it allowed me to do things that I never thought I would be able to do while I was an active military, right? I'm active duty military. I'm not reservist. I'm not reservist. So what that means is that I have a job every day at work, working at the base, right? I'm in the Navy, working on the base. Wow, this is running in the background. So that's a semi-passive income right there. If I'm not telling you got to sit here and quit your job overnight, but if you wanted to have an option where you were making some real money, you're making money that can replace your current job, I would do it. And to do it remotely, for my folks that's in the military, this is something perfect because some of the guys that are in the military, they have the option to ship their car depending on what country they're going to ship their car overseas if it meets the standard. Some people decide to put their car in storage. You don't get paid for putting your car in storage. Hell, you don't even know they're doing the maintenance on your vehicle while it's in storage. And that's kind of scary to me. Instead of doing that, if you will follow a program that I have in place, you can make your car make money for you, and that's extra money. If you got a number of cars, you can do it. I always love cars. I always love the fascination of vehicles, understanding vehicles, dealing with the economical cars to be exact. That really helped me out because that's what I started off with. My first car was the Toyota Corolla. My second car was a Toyota Corolla. It's not when I got into the military, I started looking at other cars like muscle cars and things like that. But I went with the bread and butter. I went with what I know, what everyday person's driving, get out on the road. One of the things that I would say that we learned in the Navy uh, that typically applies, you can look at all the data, you can look at what people on YouTube, but you got to look outside the window when you're driving a ship. You got to look outside the window. So, what I mean by that is that when you are looking to do something like Turo, look around you. Look at what are people driving, the everyday people. Every day, if you was to say, if I just want to go to the grocery store, what type of car will I see? What type of cars am I seeing? Are they newer? Are they older? Are they decent? Things like that. And that will give you a rough idea, guys. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I have some questions in here that I'm seeing. Uh, how long is the course? The course is about 8.5 hours, right? Not sitting here telling you to do the course all in one sitting. Take your time with understanding the course. And this is an everlasting course, right? Meaning that when we do updates with the course, which that will happen, things change on Turo, that you don't have to repurchase this course. The course is going at a low rate. We'll have a link provided to you. As long as you just contact me, we'll shoot you the link. And again, this is going to offer you direct access to me. We're going to be doing Zoom calls, one-on-one if we need to. We could do group session. We want to. I want you to make sure that you are set up for success. I have my team help you with setting up your pages. Like if you want to have your Facebook page established, I have teams for that can help you because it's not just having your stuff on Turo. That's about being able to expand yourself out there. We're going to talk about strategies on how to grow your brand because at the end of the day, it's your brand. This is Elite Enterprises, LLC. That's me. It's not Luther Brooks. It's not Luke Brooks. It's Elite Enterprises LLC. That's how you need to establish yourself. We're going to talk about LLCs in the course versus just doing sole proprietorship, how there are benefits to some, may not be a benefit to all, depending on what you're trying to do with Turo. Again, guys, we also have the book. If you want to just get your feet wet, because some people say, I just want to stick my toe in the water. I want to get in it yet. The book is out there. Again, you just got to contact me directly and we'll get you going for it. So the time is 6 o'clock. I give you back your 10 minutes, your extra time. Again, guys, if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments down below. We'll find you. We'll shoot you the link. We're going to do another one sometime in April, but I can't make no promises on what that time would be, depending on what my schedule is. And I hope to see you next time, guys. I thank you for all tuning in. I thank you guys for taking the time out to actually watch the course. This is my second one, so I'm still getting used to doing live webinars. But I thank you all for tuning in. Again, you can Catch this back and replay on YouTube. You can catch this on YouTube on Passive Income Central with Luke Brooks. That's me. You can catch this on my Facebook group. If you're already in a group, you should be able to see this. Also on Instagram and then on WhatsApp. Those were the ones that I went in there and start plugging my stuff away. So again, guys, I appreciate you. You have a safe weekend. Take your time out there and just think about what you really want to do in life. If you're tired of working that 9 to 5 job, you're tired of the bills rising, you're tired of all this high interest rates, all this stuff having a lack of, it's time to have abundance. Take the course, get off your butt, make it happen. Take care, guys.